There was a period in my life where I was really insecure about losing my hair. I had noticed sometime between the end of my freshman year and like the near beginning of my sophomore year of high school. So you have to realize I was like 15 or 16 years old when I started noticing the thinning. Now, the hairline itself didn't recede up until probably the start of my junior year, near the end of my sophomore year, but I noticed changes. Some of those changes would be my hair would thin out more, that if I try to leave it how I normally did, it would look stringy. And I was in denial for quite a while. It took me a while to accept the fact that I was losing my hair, and at the time, there was just not a whole lot that I could do about it. So I did what most afraid kids would do, and I tried to hide it. So I would do the stereotypical thing of combing it over. I would do things like gelling it in a certain way, and I did whatever I could to minimize how obvious it was that I was losing my hair. And it started becoming really bad around my senior year of high school when it I would take like the sides and push it up and over my head to try to create the illusion that there wasn't huge receding spots. Now, I haven't really lost a whole lot of hair since my senior year of high school, and it's been 3 or 4 years now. If you look at what I have now, it's about what I had back then, give or take. And you can imagine what it would have looked like trying to rearrange my long side hair over the top of my head just to try to make it look slightly normal. Suffice to say, I looked bad. And I realized near the end of my high school career that I needed to make a change in order to accept what I look like. Now, at the time, my perception of my appearance was basically that I looked like an ugly freak. And I know that's probably being just a little bit too hard on myself, but it is what I thought. You know, I was a kid that wore glasses and I was relatively scrawny and I'm losing my hair. Like, it wasn't a good look. So near the time of my graduation, I realized I wanted to shave my head, but because, graduation pictures, I didn't want to risk, it turning out really badly, so I put it off. And maybe it was like a week or two. It was pretty close after I graduated high school that I started doing research online on YouTube about people who were young and balding. And the reason why I had to do this online is because I didn't really know anybody in my personal life at my age range that was losing their hair, and I was too embarrassed to ask the older adults in my life about their experience and what they did to deal with it. So I go online, and I really wish I remembered the YouTubers that I watched because they made a huge difference in my life, but they talked about how the hardest part is shaving it for the first time. And once you get over that hurdle, you can start the process of acceptance and becoming comfortable with how you look. Now, I didn't talk to anybody in my personal life about what I was thinking, what I was going through. I just dealt with it by myself. And I really created this issue in my head, and it became so much bigger than it actually was. So I decided about a week before I actually to shave my head, I was like, okay, within a week, I have to go to, I went to a Sports Clips at the time. I'm going to go to Sports Clips, and I'm just going to shave my head. Now on my channel, and I'll leave a link of it in the description if I remember, I have the video of the before and after the first time I shaved my head, and that video is really important to me because it really shows how much of a transformation happened in such a short period of time. See, the perception of how I looked completely changed after that day. I realized that my insecurity was incredibly overblown. It was pointless to have been as fearful as I was. And I realized that hair isn't everything. There are things that you can focus on to make yourself look better, and it's a really great filter to keep people who are shallow and only care about your appearance as far away from you as possible. Because what I'm hoping, at least for the people watching this video, is that they realize that you should want a relationship and to be with somebody because they want to be with you and not because they think you're hot. Now, obviously, if you're like a one-night stand kind of person and you don't really care about developing a relationship, maybe hair would matter more. But the analogy that I'll use for people is that if you're a mango, okay, and you're like a juicy mango, but somebody doesn't like mangoes, you're never going to convince them to try you. But if you're a watermelon, let's say like a bald dude's like a watermelon, okay, there are girls that actually love watermelons, and they would do anything to get a slice of watermelon. You need to focus on finding the people that are interested in what you have instead of trying to change people's mind on what you don't have. There was a relief after I shaved my head for the first time when I realized that I had really overblown the situation in my head and that most people just really didn't care. And the people that did care were pretty supportive. And once I realized that I had overblown it so much, it made it a whole lot easier to go out, buy my own pair of clippers, and to every other week or so shave my head. It's a look that I've had for the past 3 years, and really, I don't even think about it anymore. It's been probably 2.5 years, probably since I've even thought about like my hairline. I don't care about it. It's not something that bothers me at all. It's not even something that I consider to be an issue at this point. And there's a level of comfortability that you get once you take that first step. And I'm sure there are some people out there that will shave their head for the first time, and they may even regret it. But the fact of the matter is, if you are losing your hair, you're racing against the clock. And the best thing you can do is to embrace it instead of doing the whole, oh, let me take like 20 different kinds of pills, let me try this cream, let me try these alternative diets, and like maybe you get a result. But then you're just facing the fact that you're putting off the inevitable. Most guys are going to bald in their life, and it's better to accept it early on whenever you start seeing the signs than to try to fight it, in my opinion at least. People really don't care if you're balding. What they care is how you react to how you're balding. And if you react in a mature, sensible way, people aren't going to care. I hope you guys enjoyed this video of watching me throughout my shave routine, and I hope you enjoyed my little aside of how shaving really did change my life. If you enjoyed, I encourage you to leave a like. If you want to see more, subscribe, and do not forget to keep it casual.